Hello and welcome to another Through the Bible. There's so much out there to teach on, but what's kind of been spotlighting in my soul lately, um, I guess you could just say respect, and it's kind of the true reality of things. In this life, you can get things really skewed. Basically, I was reading a verse and it had stated, an animal knows, a donkey knew its owner, an animal knew its owner, respected its owner, a son knows and respects his father, but you people have not respected me. And God called out his people on that. The other one that I had studied was about a king named Manasseh, and it's strange that Manasseh was so evil because basically his father, Hezekiah, was a good king who sought God and loved him, but Manasseh was really evil. I mean, he was so evil he had sacrificed his own sons to pagan gods, and he had set up false temples and false shrines right inside the temple of God. And and he did so much evil stuff, God finally said enough and brought the Assyrian army in on him, and it might have been Babylon, but one of those armies, and just destroyed him. Took him, he was made a prisoner, and finally in all that, he finally got on his knees and he recognized, God, you're the creator, I recognize you. And then he was made king again. He had gotten his portion back. He was led back to Jerusalem to be king, and when he was back there, he tore down the idols, all the temples, and all the evil stuff, and he was prospered and he was blessed. So the theme of this is actually recognizing reality and respect. The thing is, people lose sight of God, and it's real easy in this world to start to begin to think, is there any real purpose in serving God? Is there any purpose in being godly instead of evil? Is there any purpose in praying? Is there any purpose in studying the Bible? What do I get out of all this? And you have to be careful, because sometimes you'll seek God, you'll pray to him, you'll love him, you'll honor him, and you begin to think, man, he's delaying and delivering me from my stressful situation or my financial situation or my relationship situation. But you really have to know that these things are as certain and beyond certain as than the laws of nature. If you plant seeds in the ground, if you plant a bunch of wheat seeds, you're going to get wheat later on. If you plant a bunch of apple orchards, eventually you're going to be able to eat some apples. It's the same thing with God. If you continue to do what's right, it's gonna overtake you. It says the blessings of God will just overtake you. They'll overwhelm you. They'll catch up with you and just overpower you. I've seen it time and time again. The Bible says, don't grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you'll reap if you faint not. Now, the Bible is full of wisdom, and Proverbs is a wise book, and Solomon wrote this. Solomon was a guy, his life is actually very sad, but it was blessed. He had David as his father and Bathsheba, right? David committed adultery with Bathsheba. Their first children died. David cried while they were dying. They passed out. They died. And then eventually he had Solomon. Solomon did not die. Solomon ended up becoming a king. And Solomon sought God, and God's like, I'll give you anything. What do you want from me? And Solomon didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for power. He said, I just want wisdom and common sense of how to rule these people. And God said, well, since you didn't ask for money or power, I'm going to give you all that, and giving you wisdom. Because when you have wisdom, you know how to make the right decisions, which result in financial blessing and power and all that. And he wrote this Proverbs chapter 8, and it's a parable. If you start looking into Proverbs, you're going to see two women mentioned in there. the foolish woman and the wise woman. The foolish is loud and clamorous, and says, come with me, come with me. I'm the way to the light. But she's seductive and slippery and commits adultery and leads men into too much wine and into sin. And you get murder and you get lies and you get hatred and pride and arrogance. And then wisdom, you have humility and righteousness and goodness. And it basically draws a parallel between these two lifestyles. And back to I'm drawing it all into one point of there is a reward for doing what's right. I mean, and the Bible puts it out real plain, like the reward of righteousness is life everlasting and joy and great things, and the opposite of that is death and destruction. But anyways, I'll read this and see what you think about it. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. At the crossroads where you can go one way or the other, she's there. And she cries aloud, I call to you, all of you. I raise my voice to all people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say to you is right, for I speak the truth, and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There's nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. So if you have knowledge and you have wisdom, these words are clear to you. They just jump off the page. And she says she doesn't say anything trickery or deceptive. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than gold. Hold on. You might ask yourself, should I learn this advice and this stuff more than gold or platinum or silver? Yes, because this will lead to life and the wisdom to manage money and the wisdom to not lose all your money. So wisdom is to be chosen over riches. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. And that's a good test. You got rubies sitting in front of you or wisdom. What are you going to take? Most people are temporary, thinking in the money, the instant gratification instead of the wisdom. I, wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore I hate pride and arrogance, corruption and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign, and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments.